Hi there. Bonjour. Bonsoir. C'est Planet Glee. Une autre fois. Ici à San Francisco, your favorite public access TV show. Usually a live show, and I've heard that soon we will be doing the shows live. So that's going to be really exciting, and you're going to be able to take your calls again and really have like an interactive time, because that's what these live shows are supposed to be about, is interacting with the community here in San Francisco, because some of the things that you want to talk about I may not be talking about. And so yeah, that it's fine for you to like call in, and that'll probably be in another month, I've heard, sometime in July, maybe August, further September. But then, you know, this is part of the live series, and we don't have a phone number there because you can't call in right now, but you will soon. And so we're in the month of June already, so that's really exciting. And what's also exciting is that we have a guest, and you may know him from the Count Wardal TV show, which is a part of the televised live series here in San Francisco. And he also has another show here called What's Your Right? And yeah, I think you know him. If you see him around San Francisco, you tell him, hi, it's Count Federico Wardal.
Okay, so I am very excited to be with you in bavc.org, means BAVAC studio, because it was a long time, because a matter of COVID, etc. We are again here, so I saw our friend Javan, Gilles, etc. So I am very excited also to talk. Means I am not the right person to talk about the big star as Pasolini, Dario, Belleza, etc. But I will do with a lot of pleasure by my concrete experience with Dario Belleza, the puppet of Pier Paolo Pasolini.
Oh, that sounds great, Federico.
I found some exclusive document, because we are based about documents, not gossip, of course not. And the matter of Pasolini, Federico Fellini, that is my mentor, etc., are matter of professor of university, critic of cinema, and so means I was very well connected with especially with Federico Fellini, but I can just tell my experience, direct experience with by the great poet Dario Belleza about Pier Paolo Pasolini. But about documents, I found, fortunately, in the archive that a lot of things was lost. I found first the book of Dario Belleza, means perturbation, turbamento in Italian, with his dedication, and is in the first page the dedication. That is very strange, the dedication, because he wrote a Federico with G, not with C, like is my name, Federico in Italian, and also in Spanish, Federico, but he put G. Why? Because in a strange, elaboration, mental elaboration, artistic elaboration, G means, he told me, amigo in Spanish, while in Italian is amico with C. So anyway, it was a joke, game, etc. Very nice game. And then there is, with the friendship of Dario Belleza, 1992. Okay, unfortunately Pasolini was already dead. And
still our audience, the year he died, because they probably don't know. The year. So 1992 this is, so he passed in 1975, right? So this is years later.
Oh yes,
later.
It's about Pasolini, because Pasolini was the mentor of Dario Belleza.
Okay.
And I performed, he kindly, Dario Belleza, make an adaptation of theater for me, and I start to perform Perturbation, in Rome for 1 year. Then I went to other locations in Rome. Teatro Belli was the first. Then I was in Fontanone del Gianicolo, is a fantastic theater on the hill of Gianicolo, where there is a statue of Garibaldi, the hero of Italy and also South America, etc. And then I went even to Masrah al-Rashid, Theater al-Rashid in Baghdad. Unfortunately, Dario was not anymore with us, but by Gloria Belleza, the sister of Dario, that she has, you know, the copyright of all the work of Dario Belleza with, I think, anyway, she has with her brother, maybe, etc. By Al-Hobb, Al-Gamal Al-Hayat means in English is Al-Hobb is the love, the beauty, the life. I went to Masr Rashid, Theater Rashid in Baghdad, then even in Maybach Studio in Berkeley. So it was a big tour about Pasolini and Dario Belleza and Turbamento, and so this is original one, and also of course this is Pasolini, etc. A celebration of Pasolini in the Palazzo delle Esposizioni in Rome is a big modern art museum in downtown in Rome, and was of course at the time of Laura Betti too. And I have to say that of course you know Laura Betti, we spoke about your Laura Betti another time, and the book, this book is very important because contain Alberto Moravia, that was the first novelist of Italy, then Laura Betti, because Dario, I found a newspaper with Dario and Laura Betti here, that I sent to you. This is Laura Betti, Natalia Ginsburg and Dario Belleza. And so, and also this book is so important because talk about other poets from Greece, is Kavafis, because Dario was very attached about Kavafis, and another great poet Italian that time was Leopardi, that was last century, so extremely important. Even my other mentor, Mr. Carlo Lizzani, worked with Pasolini and even Fellini, and this is a picture of Carlo Lizzani and Pier Paolo Pasolini. So he was, Pasolini was deeply appreciated. This of course is about Carlo Lizzani, the book, and with dedication to me, I am very proud, Federico, etc., etc. Means he was very, very appreciated by Italian entourage of intellectual and culture too. So I preparing the performance, you know that I was ready, means I told you I will make some little premiere in Planet Glee here for the performance to celebrate the first episode of Pasolini 100, that will be next year anyway. But I am still in rehearsals, it's a hard work, but about the archive, I found the song Perturbation, Turbamento by Antonio Verrico, that I will make another video about the song Vintage, of course, because this is concerning the year 90s, means the end, also the year 90s. And if you like, I like to read, a thinking on Pasolini is a short piece from Film Critica, this important magazine about films. This number of Film Critica is about the best film between 1950 and 1979. So there are a lot of Pasolini, of course, all the work of Pasolini too. And I found here, that I will read in English, of course, a piece. This is Salò and 100 Day of Sodom.
Yes, let me just tell the audience that Federico's talking about a really, really important film that it was Pasolini's last film. And I think it was put out in 1975. So yeah, and it's called Salo. And I was really fortunate to see it in a theater here in San Francisco, at a theater called The Strand, which used to be on Market Street. But today you won't find it in American theaters. I don't know where you'll find it, if in any theater.
So this is very important about Salo and the 100 days of Sodom, because of course it was at that time was a big, for stupid people, was a big scandal, not for me and not for you. Okay. And San Francisco, the city of San Francisco, loves Pasolini. In fact, in San Francisco and New York City too, of course, I will explain you why, of course, no why, but there is why, New York City too and San Francisco, because, of course, a figure like Pasolini is totally, obviously loved by the authentic San Francisco culture that I think you are totally part also of San Francisco culture, not only because your culture go everywhere, etc., maybe my culture too. So the matter of Castro Theater, yes, and maybe we will see what will happen during the celebration of Pasolini 100. You was with me in Hollywood to celebrate in the birthday of Fellini.
Yeah, 2020.
2020.
How did we know
Federico
that
Fellini.
a month later, how did we know a month later that we would be able to do the show anymore?
Right.
We would, but we did get a chance to do that.
Was a big chance for us. After that came the COVID, okay, okay,
everyone,
not okay. And so we celebrated Federico Fellini in Ruby Theater in Hollywood, but we make something, not just to show the film of Fellini, that is too much easier, obvious, okay? We make a creation about Fellini. I was presented my film, Federico and Fellini, and I performed. You presented in excellent way. The event also was a film critic from Italy that wrote a critic about the event, etc. And so we hope that in San Francisco will be showed again Salo of the 2100, because it's a very extremely important film. And now I will read just an improvisation, because I just translated in English, the thinking of Pasolini, as I said, published on the Film Critica is here. And what Pasolini think. Then I found the word of Dario Belleza during an interview with Dario Belleza that are related. The thinking of Dario Belleza, they are artists, so the thinking is another matter. But now I will read this, if you like.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So, from the book Film Critic by the eminent film critic Edoardo Bruno, that I met several times, thought of Pier Paolo Pasolini also related with his film Salo and 100 Days of Sodom. We must not confuse ideology with message. The message pertains half the logical one to ideology, and the other half the allogical one to meaning. The logical message is almost always sclerotic, lying, pretext, hypocritical, even when it is very sincere. Who could doubt my sincerity when I say that the message of Salo is the denunciation of the anarchy of power and the non-existence of history, and yet, started in this way, this message is sclerotic, false, pretext, hypocritical, that is logical of the same logic which does not find power at all anarchic and which finds history to exist, indeed, poses this as a duty. So, the opposite. The part of the message that pertains to the meaning of the film is immensely more real, because it includes everything that the author does not know, the author. So that is the unlimitedness of his social restriction. Okay, this is about social restriction, you know that Pasolini loved to speak about that. Okay, now at the end, now that is the meaning of the work finally. It is its shape. In Italian is a forma, in English is a shape, frame, shape is the word. The message is therefore formal, and precisely for this reason unlimitedly loaded with all possible contents, as long as they are coherent in a structural sense which other finish the message of Pier Paolo Pasolini. So all this means reflection, to use the mind, but also to use the soul anyway, because follow that are the words that I will put in the performance, because a big document of Dario Belleza during an interview with me, that Dario Belleza said, you know, it's not okay to consider artists in political way. Artist means political is at the moment. Artists are eternal. Art is universal. So, of course, because a lot of artists belong a lot of political parties to take powers, you know. This was a la mode and maybe until now is. But of course we have to check, but they know, the audience knows, the people know who is the authentic artist and who is not an authentic artist, just sponsored by power in bad ways of manipulation. So this was also, of course, the message of Pier Paolo Pasolini, but I have to say something very important. The benefit that we took from Pier Paolo Pasolini is also a social benefit, because in many of his films he denounced, for example, there is a Roma, the film Roma with Anna Magnani, denounced the crimes that was in prisons, okay? So, then, of course, Pier Paolo Pasolini works also with the diva for excellence,
Find a rental
that was Maria Callas in Medea. So, please, Jennifer, yes.
I'm trying to bring up, I can't really, I want the audience to have some idea of who Pasolini is a little bit, because we're talking about someone in the abstract that none of them know. So tonight's show is dedicated to Pier Paolo Pasolini, who was a very, very, very important filmmaker, writer, poet, figure, writer, director, actor. Well, I'm going to direct you to a YouTube channel for a moment. Not for long, but I'll give you the URL.
Arrested in 1962 when his contribution to the portmanteau film Rogo Paci was considered blasphemous and given a suspended sentence. It might have been expected that his next film, The Gospel According to St. Matthew, which presented the biblical story in totally realistic, stripped-down style, would cause a similar fuss. But in fact, it was rapturously acclaimed as one of the few honest portrayals of Christ on screen.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you just a little bit, and I will put the URL. I'll put the URL on here so you can look at it, so that you will, if you have a chance, you can see some of this lists. It's in two parts. It lists Pasolini's films, 63 of them, so that's a lot. I don't know if anybody else has put forth 63 films. I don't know who.
Yes, I think it's definitely important, this contribution of the Indian guy to put, as you said, how many films?
63.
63. This is amazing. It's like archive, means in
Yes.
YouTube. This is very useful, as you said, and I
Yeah.
am very pleased that you are showing in Planet Glee that. And anyway, now the audience know about this video. That is a document, of course, and
Yes.
we are here to document, with concrete, as I said at the beginning of the Planet Glee, not gossip, of course, in Planet Glee, but concrete things.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes, but means this is an action of television towards culture, towards the people, and also at the intellectual or extreme intellectual level. That this is a service, because I have to say humbly that not all the universities are able to do that. So, so in this case, only in this case, I think, because the rest I don't like about televisions. Also, when I appear or when during my program, as you said, is the spontaneous action towards culture and intellectual world, because this is extremely important.
Right, and I think with Pasolini, we do have a director and a writer and the poet who was a real intellectual. I mean, he was able to bring to our lives and to the stories that he doesn't preach. There's no preaching. He's not hitting you over the head and saying, I want you to believe this.
No,
not at all.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
It's the opposite.
The opposite,
completely.
right.
Completely. As us, no?
Well, we try.
We try, but it's the same aim, of course, to suggest. Of course, we are against, of course, the culture that is imposed. This is not culture from the beginning. Is not the culture, because the culture is something, as Dario Belleza said and Pasolini said. Culture is not an ideology. Mm-hmm. Culture must be spontaneous, authentic.
Right now, these films are really important because I think Pasolini speaks, I think in what you read there, about the culture of power. Power.
Right.
How does power get taken from people? How does it
completely right?
How does it get taken from us? How does it maintain itself?
Right.
Because once it's taken the power, how does it keep it? All those different like mechanisms of power. You know, that's not all Pasolini's about, but that is, you know, a very central theme for him.
So this archive is extremely important,
Yes.
and also to share this art with the Arab world. Because to join the culture, you know, to create bridges, cultural bridges that are very important to understand each other.
Arabian Nights for that reason. The Arabian Nights by Pasolini, because
Yes.
the one of the major characters is a woman.
Right.
She's the one who is saving her lover. She's the one who is standing up to the society and, you know, those who want to take power. She's standing up to them. The Arabian Nights is one of my favorites by Pasolini.
Absolutely, and so I will watch again the film because, as you know, I am deeply involved with the Arab culture, and so, of course, this is concerning Arab culture. So definitely by Pasolini, also the episode, as I said many times, that I was in Baghdad, in Masr al-Rashid, Theatre al-Rashid, to play. And, you know, I have to say something about Baghdad. Was a lot of journalists that they want to make interview with me in Italian. And I said to the journalist, it is a secret. Means they said, what? Yes, it is a secret. Don't tell to the people in which language I will play. They didn't know nothing about my story in Egypt. People as Masr al-Rashid, they understood, means they arrived to the audience the feeling. Then, when the curtain was opened, I start to sing the song of Antonio Verrico in Arabic. So you can imagine the people, the audience was so happy because this was a big surprise, and so all the message, yes, Paolo included, arrived by music.
It's really wonderful that you're here in San Francisco with your show and here on Planet Glee.
And I am very, very, very happy, extremely, to be here with you. Definitely.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And bye-bye. We will see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.